It hits you somewhere around 5 o'clock on a Friday. Not a thought, a physical thing. Your shoulders drop, your jaw unclenches. The week, which had been pressing down on you since Monday morning, lifts, and for a moment you just breathe. Saturday stretches out ahead of you, unscheduled, yours. Sunday is different. Sunday has a texture to it, wide in the morning, narrowing through the afternoon, until by evening there's that low, familiar pressure at the back of your mind. Monday is coming. You've felt this cycle hundreds of times. You've never once questioned it. And why would you? Rest is human. People need to recover. Society built recovery into the calendar. It makes complete sense that after 5 days of work, 2 days of rest would follow. It feels ancient. It feels obvious. It certainly looks that way. But here's the thing. The weekend you just described, 2 full days, Saturday and Sunday, arriving every 7, is less than 100 years old. Someone decided it was 2 days. Someone decided which 2. And that decision didn't come from nature. It didn't come from medicine. It came from somewhere very specific, and the reason behind it is not what you'd expect. To understand it, you have to go back further than you might think. The 7-day week is genuinely ancient. Babylonian astronomers built it. The Abrahamic traditions embedded it. By the time the Roman Empire adopted it in the 1st century, the rhythm of 6 days and 1 day of rest was already thousands of years old. But that 1 day was always 1 day, not 2. Then came the Industrial Revolution, and even that single day began to disappear. In the factory towns of 19th century Britain and America, 6-day weeks were standard. 7-day weeks were not uncommon. Children worked. Shifts ran through the night. Output was the only measure that mattered, and rest was time that couldn't be sold. The Sabbath survived, barely. Some factories gave workers Sunday off because the law or the church demanded it. But Saturday was a full working day. The idea of a weekend, 2 consecutive days away from the factory floor, didn't exist yet. Someone was about to invent it, and their reasons had nothing to do with rest. By the early 20th century, labor movements across the industrialized world were pushing back. The slogan was simple: 8 hours labor, 8 hours recreation, 8 hours rest. A 24-hour day divided into thirds. A life, not just a shift. Unions fought for it. Some won shorter hours. Some won Sunday protections. But the full 2-day weekend, Saturday and Sunday both, remained out of reach for most workers. Then, in 1926, Henry Ford did something unexpected. He gave every worker at Ford Motor Company Saturday off. Not Sunday, they already had that. Saturday, a full day, paid. The labor movement didn't force him. No law required it. Ford was not known for his generosity toward workers. He was known for efficiency, for the assembly line, for driving output harder than almost anyone in American industry. So why did he do it? Ford had noticed something. His workers were building cars they couldn't afford to use because they had nowhere to use them. You need time to take a drive. You need a free day to take your family somewhere. You need a weekend to become a consumer. The Saturday off was not a gift, it was demand stimulus. Ford calculated that a worker with free time was worth more to the economy and to Ford Motor Company than a worker without it. He also observed something else. A well-rested worker produced more per hour than an exhausted one working longer. The 5-day week didn't reduce output. In many cases, it increased it. Rest and consumption packaged together, sold as freedom. Within a decade, other major American employers had followed. In 1938, the U.S. Fair Labor Standards Act standardized the 40-hour week across the national economy. The two-day weekend stopped being a benefit at one car company and became the architecture of modern life. Other industrialized nations followed through the middle of the century. The weekend, as you know it, was 12 years old. The weekend wasn't designed to give you rest. It was designed to give you time to spend. This doesn't mean the rest isn't real. It is. The recovery is genuine. The Friday feeling is not a trick. But the structure that delivers it, 2 days, those 2 days, arriving with the regularity of a system, was not built around your need to recover. It was built around an economy's need to keep moving. The things that feel most natural are often the ones most precisely designed. The rhythms we inherit without questioning, the shape of the week, the texture of Sunday afternoon, these arrived before we did. We stepped into them and called them human nature. Think about that Friday feeling, the weight lifting, the week releasing. You're not stepping outside the system. You're stepping into the part of it that was built for this. The weekend was engineered. So was the skyline. If you've ever looked up at a city and wondered why the buildings keep getting taller, why every decade seems to produce something higher than the last, the answer isn't what you'd think either. That's the next video. If you want to keep seeing the systems underneath the surfaces, subscribe. There's always more underneath.